So today we're going to be talking about the Diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. We're going to be talking about the wonderful career he had and why he was the most dominant basketball player of modern times. So I want you guys to sit back, enjoy the video. I want to welcome you to Dreamers Pro. Let's go. So today we're going to be talking about Shaquille O'Neal, and as I said, he's probably the most dominant basketball player of all time. Now, he was drafted in 1992 as the first overall pick by the Orlando Magic, and he played with them for 4 seasons. Then he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, where he played for 8 years. Now, Shaq, when he first got into the league, he was just tearing up the league. If you look at a lot of his highlight videos, you will see that he was breaking backboards and doing all kind of crazy stuff. Now, Shaq was about 7'1", and he weighed about 350 pounds, at least when he was playing. So he was a mammoth of a dude. So he would just basically playing bully ball. When you hear a lot of people watch Carmelo Anthony play and other players now, and you see him just knocking people over, that's where they got that concept from, because Shaq would play bully ball. But he didn't really have much success, because then when he started with the Orlando Magic, he was playing with Penny Hardaway, and he was doing good. He was making a name for himself. He was making all-star teams, but he hadn't won any championships yet until he was traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, where he was under the tutelage of Phil Jackson. That's where he had success. So in 2000, Shaq won his first championship in the year 2000, and he just three-peated. He went back to back to back, and he was Finals MVP for all those 3 years. And he actually won those championships with Kobe when Kobe was, still a young buck, when he was still a young dude, and that's when he ended up winning those championships. Since then, he's gone on to be a 15-time All-Star. He's made, he actually won the MVP in the year 2000 for his play, and he actually went on to win the Finals MVP that year. There's very few people that have actually been able to do such a thing in the same season. The only last person I can think of that actually won the MVP the year and then actually won Finals MVP was Michael Jordan, and he also did, a Finals MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, and the MVP of the season. MJ was the only one to do something like that. But just to show you the impact that Shaq had on the game. Now, what made Shaq so dominant as a basketball player? It was simply because of his approach to the game. Shaquille O'Neal said his goal was, when he came into basketball, was not to be the best player, but it was to be the most dominant player. That was his mentality. So when you watch Shaq play, you rarely saw him take any shots outside the paint, because Shaq, for one, he understood his strengths. He knew that he had to play out of the post, and he would punish dudes. Now, the funniest thing was Shaq had some great foot speed, and he could actually run the court at times. So if you fed him the ball and he ran up the court, he would actually go down and do some great things for you and dunk in transition. So Shaq wasn't just this big dude that was just lumbering up and down the court. He was pretty nimble for his size, and he was also pretty good at handling the ball. So that was one of the things that allowed him to actually, sometimes if you watch some of his highlights, you'll see Shaq actually running the break in these highlights. For a dude that's 7'1", weighing 350 pounds basically, running the break is just something intimidating. You can imagine what that would do to a defense when a dude that big was actually running into you. I mean, you can just imagine seeing somebody that big coming at you. But that's what a lot of opponents had to face in in the NBA back then. And it was funny because a lot of players who were playing on the East Coast would just be like, man, I'm so happy I only have to see Shaq. We only have to play against Shaq twice a year. Let those dudes in the West Coast, let them deal with it, because Shaq was a flat out problem. Now, another thing that was really good about Shaquille O'Neal was actually his ability to pass out of the double team. Shaq had great court vision. Yes, he was tall, but there are a lot of big men that are tall that don't have great court vision. Shaq was really good at drawing double teams and passing out of the double team and hitting open, three-point shooters. So when they were running the triangle, Shaq would be the anchor of the triangle, and then they were able to move a lot of players around him, and he was able to do a lot of great things. So Shaq drew a lot of attention from the defense and then opened up a lot of space for people like Robert Horry, Rick Fox, Derek Fisher, and Kobe to really operate on the perimeter. So he actually helped. He wasn't just a dude that was going out dunking on you, but there was a lot of offensive philosophies and schemes that Shaq was able to implement just because of his ability and his girth as a human being on the basketball court. That was another thing. Another thing that was really cool about Shaquille O'Neal was his personality. He had a great personality, and because of his personality, he was actually able to star in some movies and did rap. I think he did like a rap album because he was just a fun-loving guy. If you watch him in a lot of interviews, he's very funny, and Shaq liked to be himself. He called himself Shaq Fooey, Shaq this, Shaq the Damas, and all these other funny names. But it helped with his brand. It helped with making him more memorable and more of a household name. So since Shaq is retired, he's actually gone on to have a pretty lucrative career, and I believe he probably made more money in his retirement, or just about the same amount of money at the same rate as he did when he was playing basketball, because of all of the endorsements. And he's a great businessman. If you look at Shaq, he's done a lot of great business deals. He owns restaurants in Vegas. He does other things. He has sponsorships and partnerships that he does with other things that we don't know about personally. I mean, I don't know Shaquille O'Neal, and I don't think he makes all of his business public. He does a lot of philanthropy. That was one of the things that he was popular for while he was playing in LA. You know, he went out there and he did a lot of things for some people, and you know, people like Stephen A. Smith really spoke glowingly of him and saying that he did a lot of great things for the community. It's just that he's not one of those people that would go out and actually speak about it. He just did his good deeds in silence. So Shaq had a great overall career, and I think he's a basketball player that a lot of up and coming ball players can actually emulate. If you look at the way his career, you know, the trajectory of his career, how he was able to reinvent himself, and then ultimately going down to Miami from leaving LA and winning another championship with D Wade, and how he reinvented himself. He said when he went to Miami, he said he was no longer doing the big brother, little brother thing. He told D Wade, "This is your team. I'm here to support you." Whereas when he was playing with Kobe, where he had a lot of friction, he was like, "I'm the big brother, you're the little brother," and that didn't fly with him. But it also showed his ability to mature and adapt to a new situation where he was no longer probably as dominant as he was in Orlando and in LA. But when he went to Miami, where he won his 4th championship, that's where he was able to really, adjust his game and his personality to his new environment, and he won. I mean, he finished career with 4 championships. That's a lot more than most people can say. And he was a 3-time Finals MVP, and he has an MVP in the season. So, and some people, and if you ask him, he'll tell you that he feels he got robbed by Steve Nash. But that's for another day. But today, I just wanted to highlight a great career of one of the greatest basketball players of all time, Shaquille O'Neal. If a lot of you haven't seen his highlights, I know you see him on TNT with Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith. But you need to go back and watch some of Shaq's highlights, because he was a beast, and the NBA has never seen a force that dominant, especially for that stretch from 2000, 2001, and 2002, when he was just blowing up the league. There was nothing like him. So if you're a basketball fan, make sure you check out Shaq's videos. If you enjoyed the video, if you're a Shaq fan, if you like this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button, like the button, leave a comment below, let us know what you thought. And if you think we got the list wrong, if you think there's somebody else who's more dominant than him, let us know in the comment sections below. With that being said, this is Charles here, wishing you guys a great day. Peace.